I made a video a few days ago briefly talking about these new overpowered swords called the Conquerors blades that you can get from Angel Sanctuary. But at the time, I was just borrowing them, so I've spent the last few days trying to get a pair of my own. And after training for one and being gifted another by Unamari, I'm back again with these swords now that they're my own, and I can do a little bit more playing around with them and kind of just give you a better look at them. So I don't have mine all the way upgraded like I did in the other video, but I'm working on it right now, and I have one at 30 and another at 24. They're still doing 32,000 and 34,000 damage respectively, and I have two sword runes or relics on right now, and I can get about 137,500 damage on it. Now I'll be able to do a lot more when I have these fully upgraded, but that's kind of what I'm doing right now is 137 per M1. And obviously with only one, I'd be doing half of that. So you do kind of want to like try to get two of these because it helps a ton. And I'm also using Angel, so not Phantom. Now the biggest strength with these swords are just going to be that it does more damage per M1 than literally anything else. When these are like even 137,000 not completely upgraded is insane. But you in the last one I was doing like I think 150, 160, and those still weren't like I still wasn't min-maxing there. So you can get these swords up like crazy high. So that's going to be its biggest strength is just like the crazy amount of M1 damage you can get. Like Magma's Edge was pretty good because you can get a lot of M1 damage, but it wasn't even close to this. Now I've talked about its strengths a ton, but let's talk a little bit about its weaknesses because there are a lot and they are kind of glaring. One, you have to have a damage reduction element. That's first and foremost. You have to be running an element that does damage reduction. Phantom is going to be the best. Like if you're using Galaxy or something like that, or something without damage reduction, don't try to use these swords. It won't work. Also, it has fairly slow clear time. Since you do have to run up and literally M1 every single enemy, you're going to be clearing stuff slow. So if you're trying to level or get up to a high level, something like that, these swords probably still aren't going to be your best friend. Because right now, I've been trying to level with these with Angel, and it has been very slow. The clear times are way slower than what I was getting with under like Krampus. Another weakness is like against bosses, you have to be dodging their attacks really well, and like just given the nature of swords, you have to be even better at dodging attacks because you have to be literally right under them. And like the Angel Sanctuary boss, where you get this sword from, he does in his second phase have an attack that you can't dodge if you're at his feet and wanting him. You'll get hit every time. As part of the reason why you have to have a damage reduction element is because you're going to get hit by the bosses. And same with the Angel Sanctuary enemies as well. They can all hit you if you're M1ing them before you can hit them, like if you're in like your regular form. So that's some of its biggest drawbacks, as well as there only being like 100 of them right now. Like there's only 108 of these swords right now, I think, in circulation. So to trade for these, you'll have to give up like an arm and a leg. Yeah, there's 108. So like they're really hard to trade for right now, and they do have their drawbacks. I know I've hyped them up, and I think for good reason I've hyped them up, but they aren't perfect. Now for a big question is how good are these in raids? And the answer is very. Like for UW, really any other raid besides Angel Sanctuary, these blades will just mop the floor because the UW like mechanics are kind of easy to dodge, and all the other bosses will just be super easy by the time you can even get and equip these swords. So really the only raid that this would have trouble in is like obviously the Angel Sanctuary raid, and it is still good there. Like if you have Phantom plus these swords, that will by far probably out DPS anything else as long as you don't die. And since when you get low, you can kind of just heave yourself off to get health back. This kind of makes this broken for raids because, again, with Phantom's insane damage reduction, when you start getting low, just throw yourself off, wait till your transformation comes back, and then just do it again and rinse and repeat. Now, for the Angel version of this, it's a lot better if you have multiple people who are using Angel if you're going to do that, since you can all kind of heal each other while meleeing the boss. This will help you live longer and not just get like one shot. And obviously for either of these, you should be focusing crazy on like health and stuff like that, in my opinion. But no, Angel and raids might kind of slip since the damage reduction is much less, making you easier to kill, especially if you're the only one with this build, because then you're not going to get healed that much. I don't think Angel and Conquerors blades is better than like Kit for raids. especially not corrupted kit. But maybe anything else, maybe, but that really just depends, honestly. But Phantom plus these swords are probably going to be universally good for anything, and you might be able to clear stuff pretty fast at that point. Because Phantom, I mean, Phantom is still kind of slower for clearing, but it does. I mean, it has the hand that you can M1 with. I don't know. Phantom was never a good clearing. Like, if you're using these swords, you're probably going to be, your clear times are going to be slow. So I'm going to be trying to answer the question of should you use these swords? Now, for all the weaknesses I said, the damage on these swords are just so insane. And later on in Angel Sanctuary, you're not going to be able to one-tap a lot of things. So that might start to bridge the gap in clear times between these swords and stuff like Kit, is since these swords can one-tap anything, I think the clear times start to even themselves out a bit. And if you're using Phantom, you should definitely get these swords. That is unequivocally the best build, is Phantom plus these swords, no doubt. And then Corrupted Kit is maybe on par with these swords and Angel. And then it's really just everything else, honestly. Those are the three best builds. Kit still, obviously you won't get these swords until way later on. So you get Angel Sanctuary, and then you got to try to roll them. So for the most part, you're probably still going to be using Kit through most of the game. And it is good for clearing. But when you hit like Angel Sanctuary on hard, I think these do become the best build no matter what, even in terms of clear time, because the Kit now slows down significantly because it can't one-shot stuff. I don't even think Corrupted Kit in hard mode on Angel Sanctuary can one-tap everything if you have like 4 people. And this makes it so that maybe the swords are better at that point. And for raids, with the damage reduction and you just being able to heal yourself whenever you want by throwing yourself off a cliff, probably makes these the best build in the game. Now, they're super hard to get. There's only 108 in circulation at all, and the dungeon's been out for a little bit now. So these are incredibly rare to drop or find, and people will upcharge you like crazy. But if you can get them, I think is the best build in the game. I was a little late to these, partly because it's so hard to get them, but now that I've got them, I love them. It's a change of pace, especially for me who's used like all the elements and stuff. It's nice just to be able to use swords and not feel like I'm playing a losing fight. Because for a while I did use Magma's Edge, but Magma's Edge was never like that good. It was just like barely good enough, where these are probably maybe the best thing in the game right now. So yeah. And when I say best thing in the game, obviously there's more valuable stuff. I'm not saying you should like trade your whole inventory for just one of these swords or anything like that. When I say that the best, is just kind of like strength. It's like how Phantom is like 10 times more valuable than Kit, but Kit was always stronger for the longest time. It's kind of like that situation where value doesn't always one for one go on to strength.